As a child, I had this experience where my dad's business suffered some financial setback because of the financial system at that time was very terrible. People who own small businesses were categorized as risky and they did not have access to loans. I am live with Nexus Tech Talk. My name is Adaku Ekwueme. I am co-founder and chief operating officer at SUBA Capital. And SUBA Capital is a financial institution providing access to capital for small and medium-scale businesses. You know how many people struggle to access loans. We were just like them some time ago. I am a product manager by profession. I have worked in food tech. I have worked in fintech. I ventured into tech in the year 2020 when I was trying to establish what niche in technology would I focus on. But before that, I have worked in edtech. I have also worked in an educational institution. I have about half a decade experience in product management, almost a decade in operations management. I literally love to be around business people because it helps me. There's something about being in business, a place where you're betting ideas, where you're working around ideas, trying to put two and two together. And I love working in business because it gives me the opportunity to be a part of anything that's going to change lives. SUBA Capital has been in existence since 2019 when the launch started. We started as a group of friends, right? A small WhatsApp group when we came together and we're pulling funds. So after the WhatsApp group, Suba went to create her own platform on a third party site where we managed the collection, but unfortunately that site went down. And in the year 2024, we came back with our own platform, the SUBA Capital app on Play Store and web, where our customers are able to use these services, and it is majorly owned by us because we built our own solution from ground up. So what SUBA Capital does is it gives access to finance, all right, for young people who are looking to start investing but do not have the big lump sums that traditional investments and bankers require from them, millions of naira. So you can do that with your very major earnings and still feel they get the reward for investing using SUBA Capital. And then for market men, market women who don't have structured finances and how to access any of these things, we provide them with the means to save their monies little by little, and then also provide them with loans when they require that. What inspired me to start SUBA Capital? I didn't start SUBA Capital, but I joined SUBA Capital because SUBA Capital's mission resonates with my experience. So, as a child, I had this experience where my dad's business suffered some financial setback because of the financial system at that time was very terrible. People who own small businesses were categorized as risky and they did not have access to loans. So he couldn't grow the business beyond a certain point because he couldn't access loans. And I heard about people in his category, right, of business who had access to those loans. Yes, I understand that it's a difference in structure, the way they operated vis-a-vis the way my dad operates. My daddy operated a very small business. Growing up with that experience, I then furthermore had another very bad experience. After my dad passed, I saw my mom lose a significant part of her savings to her contribution group, which is something that is quite rampant for people in that category, right? And then having had this experience as a child and growing up as an adult and seeing the same process being repeated, hearing multiple people have the same problem of being cheated of their hard-earned monies, made it easy for me to come on board on SUBA Capital to build this technology that made it easy for these people to access. The reason why they joined the Agile system is because they are able to, pull their monies together to do the things that they want to do, right? And they don't have to provide any form of collateral like is requested by the banks. And also, when they need help, in this their small groups, they are able to get the help that they need. Just imagine mothers and fathers, if you grew up in the lower income environment where you see people building houses, even though they sold pepper, they sent their children to school. So that's basically what they have been doing. But banks and all the financial institutions consider them to be risky because they do not have documentation. So we are now trying to provide that documentation that these people need, so that they can access these things rather than lose your money to unregulated people who you couldn't arrest when your money go missing. Bring it to us, save it with us. And that's been the story about SUBA. That's how I joined SUBA, because it was a lived experience for me. Okay, so at different points of the business, we have had different biggest challenge. So when we were on the third party service, it was managing the technical challenges from our customers, having three-way conversations. And when we're trying to build our own product from the ground up, we were looking for talents, and because we are bootstrapped, it meant that we could only attract very few people. And you don't want to be there. That's like the bottom rung of hiring, because you don't have the funding to attract them. It's not now where stock options are a thing. At that time, it was a thing, but very few people were willing to do something like that. And even when we had people who took stock options, they just came up and did not want to do anything. So it was a big challenging. It was a big problem at that time. Now that we have our own product up and running, I think a big challenge will be marketing and keeping the product up. It's a financial service, and customers don't want to hear, for whatever reasons that you make, that their money is unaccessible. I remember one time we suffered an outage from our cloud partners, and it seemed like the whole business was about to close, simply because they couldn't open up the products, right? It felt very intense. But basically, at different points in time, our challenges has been different based off of the age and the season where we are as a business. I am pretty consistent. Like, I keep showing up, whether broken, whether happy, whether sad. I just, come up and show up as much as possible. Then when it feels overwhelming and I cannot, put in anymore, I take a break, right? I just go and sleep, or maybe eat, or pick up a book, something that takes my mind off of the challenge that we face. But unfortunately, I know it's not a good thing to say, but I haven't exactly had more than a week, a day or two off of work, because I cannot function without working. So I am always trying to do something every time. So that's how I have been managing to take care of my mental health while building consistently. It is not ideal, right? But that's me. That's how I have managed to do this since we started building. The part of my brand, SUBA Capital, that moves me is the lives that we touch. It is one thing to promise users to be able to, meet their financial goals, but it is another thing for users to come back to you and say thank you, because I am able to do this simply because I use the SUBA product. It might not even be the app, it might just be our offline customers. So the part where we are really making real life changes, we are touching real life customers, helping them to achieve their financial goals. That's the part of the brand that motivates me. That's the part that keeps me going every time I wake up, and I just want to, make sure that we have a product out there that is serving our customers. I think that power is a big problem because a lot of our teams are distributed, and majority of that distribution is within Nigeria. It means that when you give a target, this is not to say that my team and members are not great. I mean, we have amazing team members. Like, they make it easy to do the things that we do because they go over and beyond for the product and for the business, right? But there are times where it is beyond their control simply because there is no power. And even for me, who is supposedly founder, there are days when I am frustrated with the quality of the internet service. You know what it means to hop from internet provider to another internet service provider to another internet service provider, all because you are looking for a stable service to be able to attend a meeting or to hit a deadline. There are more challenges, right? But those are the two that trumps it: unreliable power and poor internet service. It is a big problem for us as a team, and to me particularly. I mean, like, I feel like I can't be paying so much for internet, right, and not have access to internet. It's mind-boggling, but it is what it is. We are in Nigeria, right? So yeah, that's it. I do what I do because it's a way to give back to the society. Product management, because I am able to, be a part of bringing things to life. It is one thing to conceive, but another thing to be involved in the end-to-end process, from the ideation to the design to building to testing, and then getting that same product in the hand of customers and seeing customers' life practically change. You know what it means for someone who has never saved in a day in their lives to come up and tell you, oh, I have 200K in savings simply because of the product that we built. So that's one of the reasons why I do product. Why do I do SUBA Capital? There are over 80 million Nigerians who are excluded from access to finance. Everybody is solving the problem, even with their mouth. Because even when someone tells you there's access to credits, you then check the interest rate on those credits. It's so high that the regular pepper seller in the market is unable to afford it. So even if they got a loan, right, they are unable to pay back, and then they are choked with debt servicing, trying to repay a loan. So that's why I do what I do with SUBA. We are building that access to finance one day at a time. It is not perfect. We have not gotten to where we want to get to, but the fact that we see changes here and there, customers' lives that are being impacted one day at a time, is more than enough motivation for me to continue what I do here at SUBA Capital. Sitting in front of the camera is something to be proud about, because growing up, I used to be very inquisitive, but funny adults and their traumas made me very shy, and I didn't want to talk, I didn't want to share my ideas. Apart from that, I was very happy the day we completed the SUBA Capital mobile app and we launched on Google Play Store. I think that was in 2024. That was a milestone that I will never forget. Also, when I led a team to pitch and they won a grant, that was also another achievement for me. Another achievement that I am also very proud of was completing Vitality Youth Fellowship. I mean, if you leave me to talk about these achievements, right, I would speak for the whole day and not even bat an eyelid. So I have so many projects that I am grateful for. I ran a project where we helped people who did not have any technical background set up their businesses and grow it to a certain extent. I have so many projects that I am particularly grateful for and proud of. Yeah, those are just a few of it though. Currently, we have presence in about 3 states, but in the next 3 to 5 years, we are looking to expand and gain market dominance in the southern parts of Nigeria. Right? We are also looking to take 5%, right, of the over 80 million Nigerians who have no access to financial capital, to the financial markets, and all of those things. So we are looking really and working really hard to see that we claim 5% of that 80% market, even though the market is growing on a daily basis, and maybe 4% of the international market expand to places like the UK, Kenya, Rwanda, and some other African countries that have similar market characteristics to what we have here in Nigeria. I am live with Nexus Tech Talk.